All right, so this is video 3 in the series The Barry Chronicles, which is a story of how I discovered I am not my father's biological son through an Ancestry DNA test kit that I ordered online as a Christmas gift to myself. And interestingly enough, the third blog post in the story picks up a little bit further back in line. So it started on the day that I learned this information, and today's post, the third post in the series, picks up on Christmas Day 2016 when I first ordered the Ancestry.com DNA test kit. So thank you to those of you who've commented on the first few videos, and to the 5 people who've subscribed. It's a small number to start with, but I'm really grateful you're paying attention. The third post today is called An Italian Christmas. It's Christmas Day 2016. My family is seated at the dinner table at my sister's boyfriend's house with his family for a non-traditional holiday meal. It's a paper plate buffet style affair with lasagna, homemade meatballs, and garlic bread. There are more pastas than I can name, with a dessert spread that's primarily a massive pan full of cannoli off to the side. Not that I'm complaining. These Ancestry DNA kits, man, they're full of surprises, says my sister's boyfriend, Mike. The conversation has reached this point because we're talking about how Italian this Christmas dinner is, and how a buddy of his was also hardcore Italian, but took an Ancestry DNA kit and found himself to be, in fact, more Irish than Italian. In Rochester, New York, where I'm from, where Italian blood is the ultimate badge of pride, this was viewed as a catastrophic event. I know that Nana is from Italy, Sicily, I'd been told, so I'm probably in the vicinity of 25% Italian. Nana is my father's mom, my grandmother. I took 5 years of Italian between middle school and high school because I was taken by this missing piece of my heritage, now with Nana out of my life. She passed away in 2012. I had surmised that my last name Barry must be British or French, primarily because that's what Google tells me. Dad, did you ever figure out where your dad's family is from? I ask. He's never clarified just how hard he's looked into this, but in the times he's spoken of it, he talks about it like it's an ongoing search, a work in progress. He hedges. I'm not sure. I always heard Irish, or maybe a little bit of something else, he says, but then I remember an out-of-place comment he's made more than once. Wait, didn't you say you always had a weird feeling that your dad wasn't your dad? Why did you ever think that? I ask. I have no idea, he admits. I just always felt like I was different from my sisters, just didn't look like them. But my dad was dead before I could remember him, so who knows? Everyone else laughs. They've seen the pictures, and there's no doubting he's related to his sisters. They all have the exact same jawline, the same intense eyes. But given the surprise we've heard from Mike's friend, I wonder if I can help him uncover some more details. I'm 3 glasses of wine in at this point. You know what I say, as if I'm making a bold proclamation? I'm going to order one of those Ancestry test kits. I'm going to figure out where Barry comes from. Seconds later, I've ordered the kit off my iPhone, and I show the assembled group the confirmation email. They laugh. You're such a dumbass, my sister jokes. A month later, the kit arrives in the mail. The literature inside instructs you to fill the plastic vial with your spit, and it's not as easy as it sounds. Then, put the enclosed cap over the top and send it in. Who knew it could be so simple? Weeks go by, and I log into Ancestry.com to see if my results are in. Going in, I knew that my mom's side is German and Dutch. Dad's is Italian and who knows what else. As I log into my account, I'm intrigued to find out what that extra piece is, but I'm 56% European Jewish. Huh? Sure enough, according to the site, most users who share my DNA are European Jewish. The roots of these people, or rather more than half of me, are allegedly an amalgamation of people with roots scattered across Poland, Belarus, Ukraine, Russia, Hungary, and Israel. The site also provides rich details of the origins of my DNA ancestors and goes on to say, European Jewish region is not geographically defined in the same way as most other ethnic regions. The historic dispersal of the Jewish population from its origin in the Levant and the east coast of the Mediterranean resulted in insular communities scattered throughout Europe, North Africa, Central Asia, and the Middle East. Although some Jewish communities enjoyed positions of relative peace and prosperity, many more were segregated from mainstream society by law, custom, and prejudice, experiencing sustained persecution and discrimination. Jewish populations from northern and eastern Europe are often known as Ashkenazi. Sephardic refers to Jews who were expelled from Spain during the Inquisition and mostly settled in North Africa and southeastern Europe. I'd known there were different sects of Jews, but Ashkenazi and Sephardic aren't words I'd used before, and if I'd heard them, I hadn't recalled them, and certainly not the context of my own family. I scanned the room around me, as if waiting for someone to come around from the corner and tell me this discovery I've made in the privacy of my living room on an otherwise uneventful weekday was a mistake, mistaken results, or swapped with a stranger. But after some additional clicking around, I learned that a second, somewhat less frequent group of these European Jewish folks are in fact German, which, after an initial shock, makes plenty of sense. Mom's side of the family is heavily German, and the rest of my DNA makeup calls out a 42% root in Germanic Europe. With some back napkin math, adding the 56% that I've rationalized as German, with the other 42% that's definitely German, well, that makes me 98% German. It makes more sense, but it leaves the ambiguity of how I'd have an Italian nana with the last name Ciaccia, C-I-A-C-C-I-A, and not show an ounce of Italian blood or heritage. I'd studied the language for 5 years between middle school and high school, thinking I'd put myself in touch with my roots. Maybe she was born in Italy, but her blood had come from Germany? I guess. The surprises aren't over, though, and the next one is harder to rationalize. The site's main drop-down menu features your DNA results summary, which I've just reviewed, and then it lists DNA matches, people who share the same DNA as you, or some of it. Under the list of people listed as matches for me, there's a laundry list of those listed as potential fourth cousins. But at the very top of the list, under close family, is the name Morgan. There's a green bar next to her name, like the fuel marker on your gas gauge, and it's full. Next to it is the text that explains why. Predicted relationship, close family. Confidence, extremely high. I click the information icon next to it to see what extremely high means and see the following description. You and your match share enough DNA to prove that you're both descendants of a common ancestor, and the connection is recent enough to be conclusive. Likelihood of a single recent common ancestor, virtually 100%. I've never seen this name before, and well, virtually 100% is clear enough for me. This is someone I've never heard of that I'm definitely related to. Upon expanding the potential relationships listed under close family, the site says that she's either an aunt, first cousin, or half-sibling. There's not really a plausible explanation for any of those, but since I'm curious, I send her a message. I'll have more for you in the next